What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Kamikaze Podcast. I'm your host, JP, and I'm joined by my co-host, is Morgs.
What's up?
And TJ.
Hey.
Anyway, Morgan, you're in London right now, right?
Yes, and it's been so shit sleeping.
That's fun. Also, if his microphone is a little bit glitchy, it's only because he is in a he's not at home.
In
He
a
doesn't have
hotel.
his regular. Yeah, he's at a hotel. He doesn't have the best internet, so please just give him a break on that. This episode, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about travel and just kind of our experiences, share some personal stories, and I just want this to be a little more like a casual, chill chat episode. But anyway, so anything interesting happened in London? Where have you gone? What have you seen? I know you went to the London Eye. I'm not sure if you went on that or not.
No, I never went to the London Eye. The line was too long. That's what she said. But the trip in general was shit because we had to stay in line for fucking ages. And the boss people were too retarded because they didn't accept credit card, but
Oof.
someone else told us they would.
Yeah.
The way to get to our hotel, they told us go straight and left. Nothing there, and we asked someone else. They said go the opposite and take right. Peasants.
I knew you were wanting to go to the Harry Potter Museum. Did you ever go?
Oh, because we had to book in advance, and we didn't. But it's okay. I'm going there next year with my family, so yay!
Yay for you!
Who did you go with, out of curiosity?
Girlfriend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she. This was like a late birthday gift for me from her, so all free. But the hotel, oh my god, it's so shit.
I know. Morgan posted on his Instagram story. He was basically just ranting. Well, not his Instagram, actually on his YouTube. And if you do want to go check that out, he uploaded about 3 vlogs right now. I'm not sure if he's gonna upload more, but go check out his vlogs. He has some interesting content. But he basically, on one of them, was just ranting about how terrible his hotel was. It was hilarious.
It's
Yeah, I
so
saw
shit.
that. I saw that.
Yeah.
The
Have
first
Wi-Fi.
Anyway, guys, happy 4th of July. We are recording this on the 4th. It is going to be going live tomorrow on the 5th. But happy 4th of July.
Happy Independence Day. Hi.
For real.
For you American people, yay.
Yeah,
Those
I mean,
who are American that are like listening to this, the rest of the world, sorry.
oh, great. Anyway, thankfully, I mean, good for me. My parents really don't do anything. I don't do anything for the 4th of July. Maybe have some friends over, but that's about it. So I really had some free time, so I'm glad we were able to record this today because tomorrow I have some stuff to do. But anyway, I want to talk about just kind of like our own personal travel stories. I know I have some interesting ones. I travel quite a bit. My mom actually works for United Airlines as a ticketing agent, and so therefore I get free flights basically anywhere in the world. So I've traveled quite a bit. I've had quite a few experiences traveling, but TJ, let's start off with you. Any interesting travel stories? Where have you been? What countries have you been to?
Okay, well, most of you know I'm South African, so I have done traveling to the US quite a bit. I came here in like 2001, came back in 2010, and no, I lied, 2010 I was in Canada. So, yeah, I actually did it through dancing, funny enough.
Oh, wow.
Most of my traveling was actually for dancing. The first time I came was just to visit, but like the second and third time, the second trip I did was Canada, and the third trip was back to the US, was just for dancing. So I feel that if you find a passion in something, just go for it, because you never know where it's going to take you.
Definitely.
I know that JP does, for instance. You do photography, right?
Yes.
I was supposed to say something real bad, but I'm not gonna mention that.
Oh no! Wait, pause. What were you gonna say, Morgan? I want to hear this.
She was like, I went to the US in 2001. It's like, oh, so you're the one who's the reason behind 9/11.
Bruh. We finally figured it out. It was terrorism. It was South Africans,
Me
not
all
the.
along.
That was January, dumbass.
Never said the month. You just said 2001.
Right, you never said the month.
If that was the case, then I would be dead. Who are you talking
Are you
to?
sure about that?
A
You
ghost?
could have planned this all along.
You talking to a ghost? This guy. Anyway, so I did a bit of traveling due to that.
You
dancing and
hater.
stuff. Shut up. No one asked you for a comment.
Everyone asked
Just
me.
Hold,
I'm the
hold your
white guy,
comments.
fuck off.
Hold your comments.
Morgan, shut up.
No.
So I did the traveling for dancing, and I did Canada for 2 weeks, and then I came back to the US for like six or 8 weeks. I can't even remember. Traveling's fun. Like, I definitely want to do, like, I want to go to Cali. I have a trip now planned for Florida, obviously. You guys didn't hear about it. So I'm kind of keen to travel the US a bit more because I've done most of like the East Coast.
Which states have you been to, and which one was your favorite?
So far I can't really say. I feel that I'm gonna enjoy Florida. That's my personal take, due to the fact that it's sunny. It reminds me of home. But I think I can't even pick one because, like, as I said, I stayed in like Connecticut, but then I was traveling to New York, and then I stayed in Tennessee, and it was just like, yeah, I can't really pick. And the Tennessee experience, I was like way too young to kind of remember it all that great. I just remember freezing my hand in snow.
That's
Ooh.
fun. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Experience white snow.
Let's
That
get
is
off
cold.
me and let's move on to the next person, please, because I feel very targeted right now with all these questions.
All right, Morgan, tell us a little bit about any stories you have or where you've been to.
I've been to Greece, Poland, now UK, and I'm planning to go to US next year. I was supposed to do it this year, but problems. I have to wait, and most wanted to go to US. I was in England or UK last year in Manchester, but I remember when I was in Greece, like the toilet system was really bad. You couldn't even flush, so you had to like wipe your booty and throw it in a trash can.
Wow.
It was that bad. And I accidentally fell asleep in my sun chair and I couldn't go for like 2 days. Yeah, I was like, I don't get red. No way, I'm getting brown. And when I woke up, I couldn't go any step without feeling pain.
Wow.
So when I was in Poland, it was like some program for kids. Kind of interesting because we were kids from Sweden, Kenya, Poland, and France. And I remember real good. We were camping in a forest, and there was a crazy man shot paintball shots at my friends, and we had to flee that cabin.
Wow. You didn't know who it was?
No, we didn't.
That's
It was
weird.
the guy who rented us the house that we're supposed to live in, and he was like sitting in his tree house and shooting paintball shot at us.
What? What? That's weird, bro.
So we would have to walk 5 hours with our like bags in a hot sunny day, and it was I wanted to die.
Oh, wow.
But if I have to compare my experience in UK from London to Manchester, I rate Manchester more than London because this is too much.
There's too much
Like,
going on.
Every second minute, there is always sirens of ambulances and police cars, and it's like,
Oh
Jeez.
yeah.
But isn't
Quiet.
that like city life anyway, though? That's
Oh,
like city
yeah,
life.
it's
anyway, though. Like, I think
yeah.
anyway, that's like, I look at New York. Every time I go to New York, I'm just like, I can't handle this. There's cops everywhere. There's just ambulance going off.
City
And
life.
it's like, it's just
City life is
crazy.
not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a city person. I love the city,
Me
but
too.
this is too much. But they say they happen too much in London, particularly with killings and all of that. I know it happened in Manchester as well, but this is next level compared to Manchester, in my opinion.
Right.
Go here.
Yeah, London is definitely somewhere that you either love or you hate. It's not somewhere I would choose to live. It's just too
What
much going
about
on.
you, Josh? Like, tell us a little bit. Come on.
Um,
You've done a lot of the traveling, so we want to know about you.
Yeah, flex on us.
Why don't you?
I was, as people know, I think, I'm from the UK. If you didn't hear the last episodes, I've talked about it, but I go back there fairly often, visit family and stuff. I've been all over the UK.
Family?
Yeah, I have a lot of family back there, family all over the US. I've done work over there as well. I've been to France a couple of times. I've been to Canada a couple of times. Been all over the US. Where's a couple of the places I've been? My mom's from Germany, so. But yeah, I think my favorite place was definitely the UK. I love the UK. I wouldn't want to live there like full time, but I love visiting. I love going there, staying there for a couple of weeks. You know, being with family. I just love the atmosphere there, the people. It's just a really cool place.
I got a quick question for Morgan. Morgan, out of curiosity, why do you do the traveling thing? Like,
Love to travel.
what is the drive for that? Like, is there some sort of passion of it, or is it just
I
traveling?
want to
in general?
experience as many countries and I can. Like, I've always had a goal to go to Africa and see it for my own eyes, especially
Yeah.
on TVs and shit. I want to see it with my own eyes. Like, take London example. You have seen London Eye on a picture. It's not the same as
You physically
when
being
It's
there.
physically
your
being
eyes.
there, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I get what you're saying. Like, for instance, I came to the US in 2012, and I remember the videos that they would show for donating to Africa. I don't understand. They always choose the kids that have kwashiorkor and have like 10 flies sitting on them. But Africa, not the whole of Africa is in that type of poverty. So it makes me a little upset that that's what is depicted.
Yeah, they always pick the worst.
Yeah, like they choose the worst situation of Africa. It's just like, yeah, no, they all poor and hungry, and I'm like,
Right.
no, be specific.
They're
about
just
what
trying
you're
to be.
talking about.
They're just trying to be
Don't-
dramatic and show the worst to promote
That's
their
the problem. And I'm like,
ministry or group.
Yeah, they're
don't
playing
put-
with your feelings.
That's the thing. I'm
Right.
like, don't put a whole continent in a situation when the whole continent is not going through that. It might be a specific area in the continent. Specify where you're talking about. Don't talk about Africa as a whole.
Right.
It really frustrates me. It's like if you're to come to South Africa, everyone thinks that people from the United States are rich.
I I have a little story to tell about traveling, which was kind of a scary experience. I was actually flying back here to my home in Florida, and we were landing at my local airport. And the plane came in just like normal. It was going for a landing, and all of a sudden we hear over the intercom we're gonna have a really, really rough landing. And so we're like, okay. He's like, make sure seatbelts are fastened, tray tables are up, and everything. So we're like, okay. So he came down, and it was an extremely rough landing. Like it was really, really hard with the way it hit the ground and like bounced. So like, hit the ground and like bounced up and then landed again. And then there was some failure of the brakes, and we noticed the plane was not slowing down. It was just flying down the runway. And he was like, we're going to have to take off again, folks. So he kept going and took off again, like an emergency takeoff. And we circled for like another hour in the air just around my area. And then we finally were able to do like an emergency landing. So it was a extremely stressful situation, but I mean, eventually the pilot did a great job on landing, and we all got there safely. So
Yeah.
Scary.
I've had experiences similar, but not to that extent of it was a brake failure. I think it was just like a lineup of planes landing, and it was not going to work out. I think we were going too fast or whatever the case is, and there was a plane ahead. We just took off, and I was like, okay. And we just sat there. And I'm like, bruh, we are going in a circle. What is happening? I just want to land.
right,
Landing here was so bad. I don't know what was happening on our flight in. Like, we flew from SA to Dubai. No, from South Africa, Joburg. Well, Durban, Joburg to Dubai. Our flight there was great. Flying from Dubai to the United States. Oh my goodness. Firstly, it's a long trip. Secondly, the biggest problem that I had was landing. But I've never had my ears pop before, but like my ears were popping. I was sitting there in excruciating pain. We were literally like, when we landed, it was like the roughest landing I've ever experienced. And yet we landed in Dubai, and it's like basically just about the same distance in hours, like maybe 2-3 hours difference in from South Africa to Dubai. But landing in the US was terrible. I wanted to cry. It was so sore.
Yikes. Yeah, I had another experience of similar to that as far as the pain in the ears, but it wasn't because of that. I just gotten over a really bad flu, and I still had a lot of mucus in my system. And so I don't know if you've ever flown when you've had mucus in your system, but whenever you ascend and descend especially, but even when you're in the air, you have such an excruciating pain in your ears. It literally felt like someone took a drill and was drilling all the way through one ear and out the other. It hurt so bad because I guess the pressure, I was literally just like digging my fingers in my ears trying to make it like stop.
Yeah, that was me.
And it hurt so bad, and I was like, thank God we landed when we did. It was like 2 hours of just excruciating pain.
I know the feeling.
So now I know if I ever have a flu, I'm just gonna wait to fly, unless I absolutely have to for work or something, you know.
Yeah, no, totally. Is Morgan still alive?
I'm still alive.
Okay, just checking.
Patiently listen, okay?
Aww.
I have a question for both of you. Have either of you been to Paris?
Oh, I was talking to my girl today. I wanted to visit France, and I want to, like, I want.
Paris is definitely, it's not somewhere I'll go again unless I do for work again. Last time I went there, my experience was just terrible. The people were the traffic was terrible. The people were very like unfriendly. It was just it was a rough experience. Just the whole atmosphere was just weird. I always had to be careful about someone just picking off my equipment. Actually, I was getting on the train, and someone grabbed my camera, really expensive camera, because I was sitting on a bench and someone grabbed it. I had to hop on the train, and I realized it was gone. And then I went back to it took me like an hour to get back to that same train station, because I had to get off the train, go to another station, get on the other side, and wait for the train to come back and go back to the station that I was at, and then go around to the other side. And then I was like, what am I gonna do now? Someone just picked my camera, you know. Had a bunch of footage, a bunch of photos that I literally could not lose. I would have lost like so much. It's like I have to get that back. I got to do whatever I can to get that back.
Of naked babies.
Exactly. How'd you know? But yeah, I went down to the security checkpoint down at the bottom, like underground, and I was like, have any of you seen someone walking with a camera? And one of the guards was like, yeah, I saw someone pick that up, and I chased him down and got it from him. And it's sitting right here. He's like, can you verify it's your camera? I was like, yeah, the last picture that I took on it was an arrow and was of the Eiffel Tower. He was like, yep, that's it. So I verified it was mine. So it turned out that he actually like chased someone down when he saw them steal it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience, but I'm so glad I got that back. But I'm definitely not going back to Paris unless I really have to. I didn't like it. I didn't like the experience at all. But I don't want to ruin it for anyone that is going, you know. It's really cool to go to the Eiffel Tower. I enjoyed climbing it. It was a lot of fun, but definitely I'm not going there twice, you know, or 3 times.
Yeah. I felt that way about the US. I feel that way about the US. I don't know. The US is very unfriendly. It's like if you don't know a person, they don't know you. It's just, yeah.
I think you're going to find that's a lot different when you come down to the South.
Maybe,
because in the US,
because I know when I went to Tennessee, like they were super friendly. That was cool. But like NY, the train rides are like the worst. You just sit there in silence because you see someone look at you and you smile, just like, you know, being polite, and that person will kind of just look at you like, what the heck are you doing, and look the other way, and it's like, okay.
in the northeast especially, people are very unsociable.
Yep.
And I think it's mainly out of fear. Like they don't want to get robbed. They don't want to get whatever. So like I guess they're like, you know, ignorance is bliss. If you don't talk to someone, then they have no chance of taking advantage of you. You know.
I think it's also different because like back home we be very, very friendly, which is weird. Like it's really weird. Like South Africans are really, really friendly. Like
Right.
we'll just start talking to people. Like you could be in like a train of some sort, going like the Gautrain train or something, and like people will just start talking to you.
That's how the South is. The South is much more friendly, much more hospitable. You could literally in the South. I mean, most areas of the South. You could, if you need something. Let's say your car breaks down. You could walk up to a house, knock on the door, and usually they'll be like, "Yeah, I'll help you," or "What do you need?" You know. And you can. People usually they're very hospitable. They're very friendly. If you're broken down on the side of the road, someone will stop and help. If you're like waiting in line at the store, they'll be a lot more, you know, more apt to talking to you, you know, talking to strangers and stuff. So I think you're gonna enjoy Florida for multiple reasons.
I hope so. I really
Yeah.
hope so. Morgan, how's your experience been with like people that side?
Full to me, because I always ask politely ways and directions and all of that. But if they're rude to me, it's like, okay.
I think in the UK, if you ask them for something, they'll often usually answer you, but they're not very forthcoming as far as talking to strangers and just like making conversation.
Yeah, we had someone today who actually like showed us a way to like Aldi's from our hotel to show that store. Like, oh, if you're gonna buy something that is cheap, like that's the place you're going to buy your food and blah blah blah. It's like, oh, okay, cool,
That's
thanks,
good.
appreciate it.
That's good.
We talked to her while having our morning coffee, and she was like, kept going like, oh, you two are so beautiful. Oh, imagine how your babies will be like calm your tits, lady. We're still young. We're not thinking about having kids. I told Aisha that I needed to go to the restroom because at the restaurant there it took ages to be done. So I went back up to my hotel, and when I came back, when the lady left, she told me like this lady just kept going on with the baby, blah blah blah. Like,
Right.
yeah.
But you know what I noticed as well? When you have a foreign accent, people just generally are so much nicer.
I think they are.
They're just so much nicer. It's like, oh my gosh, you're not from here. Can we help you? It's like, no, I don't need your help now.
It's funny. Me and my mom can't really go anywhere without at least one person commenting on her accent.
Yep.
And then that's often like the icebreaker. They'll be like, "Oh, where you're from? Oh, I have family there. Oh, I've been there." Or, you know, that's really cool. And then they'll start a
keep
conversation
getting
with
free
that.
Yeah.
I keep getting free stuff.
Nice.
Literally, I keep getting free stuff. I walk into a shop. Yesterday, for instance, I told you, I walked into the store, into 7-Eleven. I went to go buy an Arizona 7-Eleven, and the guy's like, hey, let me buy you a drink. I'm like, for what? He's like, no, go take a Slurpee. And I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. I take a Slurpee, and he's like, yeah, free drink on me. I'm like, okay, this is weird.
Oh, TJ, just to warn you, there are no 7-Elevens here.
Oh,
In
no,
the town
but
where I
you
am.
guys do have Arizona.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's all I need. I just need like at least one Arizona to keep me going.
In the town where I am, there's no 7-Eleven, which is, I hate it, but... And we don't have
Yeah, you
Chipotle.
mentioned that. Oh no! Chipotle is my life!
There is a Chipotle maybe like an hour away. Maybe we can go together or something, but that's about it. It's over in a little resort town like an hour away, so...
All Anissa's concerned about is the beach, bro.
I feel
You're gonna
that.
have a
Oh,
date?
she's like, I want to go swim. I'm like, okay, girl, we're going swim.
I can really see when Nika gets really excited. Oh my god, mama!
No, haven't you seen that Vine?
No, but I can see you in front of me like the Cookie Monster being all happy inside. Oh my god!
I'm so happy.
Nice.
Taking your
Good
armpit
job,
here. Oh my
guys.
god!
Guys, hold up. Have you guys checked out the new story about Kim Kardashian and the kimono story?
I have not. I really don't keep up with the Kardashians. That's
Okay, neither do
Pun
I.
intended.
But this hit like media hardcore because it came across as a racial, or not racial, but what you call, I think it is a racial problem because the kimono is actually a Japanese leisure
garment, yeah.
like, yeah, it's like something that they wear and it's called the kimono. Am I saying it right? Kimono?
Yes, kimono, yeah.
And Kim Kardashian made underwear or lingerie basically called the same thing. And like the people of like the Japanese people are losing their minds. They're like,
Oh yeah. I read about that.
You're degrading our culture. This is what we came up with, and now you're using the name. And people are like, oh no, this is not working. So I'm curious. No one said anything, but I think she's dropping the line, as in she's now canceling it. I don't know. I don't know whether she's gonna change the name or what's the situation. But I'm like seriously interested as to what's gonna happen now.
So Japan says they're actually sending like senior officials to Washington D.C. to discuss with the U.S. trademark officials because because this situation is basically a disgrace or not disgrace, but it's like disrespectful to the Japanese. Was it the
culture?
The Japanese cultural pride that they boast of, you know, so...
Yeah, like, someone actually, I watched a video, someone was actually saying that they actually find it amazing that the world actually has accepted kimonos as something that they can wear. And they find, like, you know, it's really, like, satisfying. It's like, oh, wow, our culture is now obviously impacted on other people and people seem to like it. And the Japanese are like, oh, that's cool. They're happy about it. And now Kim Kardashian West has done this. So people are not impressed. I'm just curious as to what's going to happen. Like, they actually started a hashtag, Kim O No or something like that. It's some hashtag that they started. And they're posting actual kimonos on there.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So... that's been going crazy at the moment, but I haven't really been keeping up with anything else. Well, anyway, guys, I think that what we try to actually do here, our conversation about traveling, is actually to encourage more people to go out and travel the world as much as possible. I have someone that has traveled like over 35 countries, and she absolutely loved it. So we literally are just saying that traveling is something that everyone should do. Like, go ahead, get your passport done, and just take a journey, take a trip, have fun.
Meet some new people, you know, find some new... And who knows, you might go to a country and you might find something that interests you, and you might find a whole new, like, talent that you never knew. You might meet the love of your life, you may meet something, you know, meet someone that might change your life forever, you know, you never know. So go out there and explore and...
oh yeah, it's a quick note, if you're going to UK, like, be careful, because in UK, it is literally the opposite way.
Right, to drive, yep.
Yeah, they drive the opposite way, so you have to look. You look at your right, like you could.
No, sir, that's the same in South Africa.
They drive on the wrong side of the road.
They drive.
Yeah, I don't know why UK people are weird.
They drive on the wrong side of the road. The Americans drive. The Americans drive.
Let's wrap this up. Let's not get into this argument. Thank you very much.
No, let me say one thing. The Americans.
No, I don't want to hear it.
The Americans drive on the right side of the road for a reason. It's the right side, okay? Anyway, on that note.
It's still wrong. Anyway, continue.
She always has to get the last word in. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. It was just kind of a casual, more just chatty episode. But anyway, if you did enjoy it, please make sure to drop us a like, comment, let us know what you think. We want to hear your opinion. Any comments, questions, criticism. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter @RealKamikaze. And as always,